It's hard to see, Cal.
He whipped out the gout.
Yeah, we should have another conversation about your health.
I dropped the G-bomb.
Well, I'm guessing that my time's probably...
Yeah, but hold on, we're not kicking off yet because...
We've got a bit.
We want to do something with it. So here, take this. This is yours. We all just had a lunch. Just a lunch. Just a delicious lunch. And this lunch finishes off by giving you a cookie.
You're gonna love this. The reason why I'm on stage right now is because otherwise it would be racist.
Why? Whatever do you mean, Osric? Osric, what kind of lunch was it?
I didn't do that at all.
Oh, we had Chinese food.
Whoa, those are the labels.
You said it, not me.
Labels.
You said it, not me.
Today was just, I saw the lunch, delicious food. You gotta narrow it down to a certain region? That's racist.
What's racist?
Right? So unsettling. Anyway, Rob's gonna eat the cookie. That's weird. I've never seen anyone eat one, but here we go.
What?
Yeah,
well, Mike, you only did anything. You're high. All right, so we're gonna read our fortunes to you people, so you will know what's gonna happen to us.
Oh, these are learning Chinese ones. Rob, you're gonna love this.
Okay, Stephen Norton. Read it out. Here we go. Stephen Norton, starting. Speaking of not playing high school anymore, he can't read it.
Without knowing the force of words, it is impossible to know men.
Finish it off. What do you say? In bed. There we go. Mike Warhol.
You are full of hopes about your future.
Damn right you are. Rob Benedict.
This is so perfect. A danger foreseen is half avoided. In bed.
In bed. Billy Moran.
Your talents will be recognized and suitably rewarded.
Oh, wait, that's not his gift. That's unfortunate. That's his tattoo. When pushed, love digs in its heels. Mister, I don't like people from a certain region and I label their food as such.
Man, okay.
Osric Chau.
You smile, bring happiness to everyone you meet. In bed. I mean,
In bed!
I can maybe fit like 500 people in there, but...
The weird thing, when Osric says it, it almost like he should end it with, at sleepovers. Kind of in bed, but a little squeakier.
In the sleeping bag.
We'd cuddle.
Oh, you can learn Chinese on the back, too.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. It's just a language, you don't need a label.
And China has multiple languages. It's not like it's just Chinese.
Exactly my
Right,
point, Robbie.
he's right. Technically, this is Mandarin.
It's Mandarin. Thank you.
I don't know, man.
So I am. You are a man of righteousness and integrity. In bed.
Amen. Tyler Johnston.
Thank you, guys.
I wouldn't rent a miler. This is how I feel.
Thank you. Now, do me a favor, Osric, leave. We're very excited about our next guest. I just spit a fortune cookie out in the front row. That was gross. But our next guest is not gross. He loves food from all regions and is not afraid to eat anything for lunch. Ladies and gentlemen, Osric Chau.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the great fortune.
You're welcome. There he is, guys. Friday. See, we bring out A-level talent on Friday. A lot of conventions, they just throw crap at you like Vampire Diary shows. Not us. We show up with real talent like Osric Chau and Tyler Johnston. Enjoy your time. We'll see you in a few.
Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed food from a region that I happen to be from. Rob.
Yeah.
Rob's learning Mandarin in the back. I was teaching him.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Let me teach you a word that is very relevant to now.
Okay.
Can you say that? What's that? If you know the word, you can say it.
Nangwei?
Nangua.
Nangua?
Nangua. That means pumpkin.
Pumpkin. Nangua?
Nangua
Nagua.
So now everybody knows how to say pumpkin. All right.
That's the right tonality?
Yes.
Nagua.
It's Halloween, and you know what's really nice? You were there 2 years ago when I didn't come dressed up and everyone came dressed up. You guys made fun of me all day until
Hey, in all fairness,
it was Rich.
yeah,
Yeah.
I never make fun of you.
Right, but that was the reason why I came as Rapunzel the next time, because you guys made fun of me so hard.
Right. And you want to come with something that Rich might know. He doesn't understand the video game references.
He understood Tangled because he watched this
Because he
so
has
many
kids,
times.
yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
But
I think he actually liked the movie, though.
a lot of people may not know this, but you're dressed up as something right now.
Maybe. Maybe not. Let's just keep it very subtle.
Okay.
I love it.
I love how tall you are.
Me too. Some might say I am tall. But thank you. Thanks, Rob. All right. I gotta chalk that up to awkward entrances. That's definitely one of the top. Hi, everyone. I mean, this is an incredible Friday. I can't believe how many people skipped work and school today. Thank you. No, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. I mean, you're making up for it, right? You're making up for it? Vacation time. Right, vacation time, that exists. So, I just came from London, and this was crazy because I was at Heathrow Airport, and it was an awesome trip. I went to Harry Potter Studios, had a great time. Loved it there. I had so much fun, and my only regret is that I went with this tour bus who only gave me 3 hours there, and they were going to leave at certain times, so I had to be back, and so I kind of rushed through the end. But I really could have stayed there for probably a couple extra hours. But at London Heathrow, I was just chilling out at the lounge, and I don't know, it was such a great trip, and I was ready to come to Chicago a few days early to hang out with some friends, and I looked at my clock and I thought my flight was at 4, and so I thought my flight was at 4:30, and so at 4, I went to check and I couldn't find my flight, and I went and asked them, and my flight had left. And I think I've missed 2 flights in my life. The first flight I missed because I was standing in the wrong line, and it was at a time when Europe had these volcanic things, the line wasn't moving, and I was playing my DS at the time, and so I just wasn't paying attention. So I just spaced out, and this was another time I was doing some writing in the lounge, and I just spaced out. By the time I was like, oh, 4 o'clock, I should probably look at it. Flight was gone, and I had to book another flight, which was incredibly expensive, being that it was the same day. But they didn't have a flight on the same day, and it was such an expensive flight that I'm like, you know what, Osric, you can't justify going back to London and staying in a hotel. So I spent the night at Heathrow Airport, spent an extra 16 hours there, and it turned out to be this wonderful adventure. The only thing open, because the airport actually shuts down except for this Costa Coffee there, and I ended up hanging out with this guy named Michael, who's the lead singer of this heavy metal band. And I listened to heavy metal music all night because we decided we didn't want to sleep. And that was crazy. And so I thought I didn't have any jet lag because I stayed up till 7 a.m. the next day, jumped on the flight, slept until 10 a.m. here, and yeah, I thought I got over jet lag, but I'm still tired, so I don't know why. I've had 2 full nights of sleep. I've got heavy metal kind of blaring in the back of my mind still. Yeah, what a crazy adventure. London. Loved it. Heathrow, I probably can avoid now. So yeah, I'm still a little bit tired, even though we're like in the middle of the day, so bear with me if I'm a little sluggish. I feel like I've been really sluggish. I've been on the road for like a month. So let's open up the floor. I think there are people here.
Hi.
Hi.
So my question is, if monsters die and go to purgatory, where do angels go when they die?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I would ask you guys. I think you're more experts on that. If demons die, they go to purgatory. Angels, where do they go? Do they go anywhere? I thought they just died for good. Don't they? What would Bobby say? Wait, I don't know. Hold on. Do you actually know the answer? Is this a pop quiz? Because I don't know the answer. Did they ever explain it? Wait, hasn't Castiel died like 100 times? Where does he go?
He comes back.
He keeps coming back, but where does he go in between? Does he just hang out? Didn't he goes to Heathrow. He goes to Costa Coffee at Heathrow Airport, where he listens to heavy metal music until they eventually resurrect him, and of course he always does. Actually, that's a good question. Yeah, I have no idea. I thought they went to purgatory as well. Maybe they just die really quickly there because no one likes them. In purgatory. Purgatory. No one likes them in purgatory. Thank you. If you come up with an answer, you should tell me at some point. Hi.
Hey, I'm Laura.
Laura.
So you thought you could be sneaky, but I saw you on my new favorite TV show, The 100, with your eyes bleeding out. By the way, stop that.
Right.
So I'm just wondering, do you have any plans to return to that, or like, what are your upcoming projects? What's going on?
So the 100, I mean, it was a quick thing. There were basically the casting director of that casting agency reacted like, hey, this is a thing. Like, can you just do it? Once you're in it, you're like one of the 100, and they could always have the option of bringing you back. For me, I'm like, I don't know. Usually, I don't usually do like smaller roles like that anymore. But I'm like, oh, he's bleeding out of his eyes, and it just like came at such a perfect time. Like, yeah, I'll do it. I could bleed out of my eyes again. It'll be funny. That's why I did it. So I don't know. It's a great show though, and it shoots in Vancouver. And anytime I get to work in Vancouver, it's just nice to be home where I can hang out with my family and friends. But in terms of projects, I've been spending a lot of time writing, and right now I'm gearing up for NaNoWriMo. So for all of you writers, all of you who aren't writers, NaNoWriMo is the month of November where we challenge ourselves to essentially write 50,000 words throughout the month. And so right now I'm writing scripts, and I'm hopefully finishing my outline for November 1st, and then I'll spend every single day writing. And it's just for those people who want to write, who need like some sort of motivation and incentive to do it. So it's kind of like a group thing, and hopefully by the end of it, you make it such a habit that you kind of do it on your own. I think that's the idea. So that's what I'm focusing right now on, writing. It's hard. Thank you. Hi.
Hi. First, let me just say, me and my brother cried a lot when he died. We miss you. Second, if you were to come back as a monster, what monster would you want to come back as?
Oh, if Kev came back as a monster, I hope he'd come back as a demon, because I think the one he bonded most with was Crowley. I think it'd be pretty cool if Kevin came back, with Crowley somehow. Would that make sense? It can make sense. Anything can make sense in this show. That's the brilliance of it, because the writers spend so much time writing. They do NaNoWriMo every month. I hope so. Honestly, I love working with Mark. He's a really fun person to work with, and he's very professional, and the Crowley character is just so colorful. I think if you can work with anyone, if you work with Crowley, you never know where your storyline could be. You could be a good person, you could be a bad person. I just feel like there's almost as much as there is with Dean. And Dean and Crowley are my two favorite characters, so one of those two. Hi.
Hi. The fortune was accurate. Your smile is amazing. So I was wondering how, because I know the show's been placed and Dean's point of view, so how do you think season 8 would have been different, or what would it have consisted of if it was from Kevin's?
It might have been a little bit boring. I mean, when I explain my character to people, it's like, well, there's these monsters that no one can kill, and there's instructions on how to kill them on these rocks, and I'm the only one in the world that can read these rocks, and so people keep kidnapping me. So I'm a hostage here, the good guys, and then I'm a hostage with the bad guys, and then I'm a hostage with the good guys again. And then I want to be a hostage. I developed Stockholm Syndrome. I really like them, but so now they don't have to lock me up anymore. I lock myself up. I don't know. From Kevin's perspective, I mean, I think it would just show more of the insanity. insanity that's going on, and I don't know, it would be, I don't know, Kevin's story is kind of tragic, you know, and one of the reasons why I love him so much is he kind of does have that hero's journey, you know, he goes through all this, he essentially sacrifices everything that he's ever valued and cherished, and all of it basically came to a point where they're like, we appreciate what you did, but sorry. And then he died. So it kind of, I know, I think if it followed Kevin's story, it would be a very sad and depressing story, unfortunately. And then it would have ended, and that would have been like a, what? It would have ended there. So probably a good thing that it didn't follow Kevin's story. Although he's a ghost now, so. Right, my theory. I'm gonna run with this theory. Ghost Kevin is bored Kevin. Ghost Kevin has been trying to break through the veil. Now that's all he's trying to do because he's a good student and this is what he does. And at some point, if they ever do revisit him, he's just really good at breaking through the veil. So he's got ghost power that makes him a non-ghost because he's so good at breaking through the veil. There you go.
Okay, so you probably don't remember, it's like a long shot, but my name's Ashley, and I Snapchatted you a picture randomly of my bird one day.
What kind of bird was it?
It was like a lovebird, and you were like, I love birds, and then you like made my entire day. Just a long shot. Anyway, so
how are your birds doing?
Okay.
Are they still in love?
Yeah.
It's life, right? That's what lovebirds do.
Okay, so my question is, what's like the weirdest thing you've ever gotten, like on Snapchat or like a fan?
Oh, the best are people send me. This one person sent me a picture of their poop. Because they talk about poop a lot. I'm like, yeah, all right. That was probably the weirdest thing, but I mean, I guess it didn't really gross me out. It was just like so out of the blue. I get a lot of, I don't know, like a lot of dirt faces, like a lot of double chins, a lot of animals. Animals are the best. So many cats. Cats are the best. Like, just like, I can just watch them, like videos of kittens, like pawing at blankets and stuff. There's just something really soothing about that. So sometimes I'll just like, because I do that anyways, when I just watch random Facebook or YouTube videos, it's just cats and dogs playing around. And there's just something very relaxing and inherently enjoyable about watching like such innocent creatures just playing. Yeah, so birds didn't really do anything, but yeah, the kitten one's the best, and the poop one is probably the weirdest one. Only one time. Now, I'm not suggesting you should send me pictures of your poop. Please. Though I am one of those people, I have to look every time. Have to look. Doesn't matter. Just have to look. It's like a compulsion. And it's good to check. Which reminds me, oh man, I shouldn't talk about it. No, okay, let me tell you this. This one time I did a detox. This is the weirdest thing. My roommate, I was in China, and my roommate dragged me into this detox. And it's this lady, he's like, hey, this lady wants to like do us a detox. She's giving us a great deal. It's like $200. And I'm like, what is it? It's like, you know, she just clears out your system. So what it was we spent 24 hours at this, at her place, and she gave us this like lemon rind juice. And for the first half of the day, and then the second half of the day, we proceeded to have the worst diarrhea I've had in my life. For like 12 hours straight, and it was like back and forth, like I'd go on, then he'd go on. It was awful. You really need your own toilet, and by the end of it, your body is so like empty that everything comes out liquid, and it was burning. And I think I pushed too hard in the beginning. And because it's mostly lemon rind, it burned a lot. So you can imagine that. And then at the very end, she's like, all right, you're almost done. And she put a basket in there. It's like, now go in there. I'm like, ah. And so we did it. And then she's like, okay, now I'm going to take a picture of it for your scrapbook. It was the weirdest. And then she like, you know, she was just talking about it, and I didn't even want to look at it. I mean, I like looking, but not like extended periods of time. And she's like, okay, so it looks like you've been eating this. You could probably use a little bit more of that in your diet. and here's your photo for your scrapbook. And I'm like, no, please just keep that. You can do whatever you want with it. It was a very strange experience. All right, do not send me pictures of your poop. Okay, that's where we'll end that one, right? Do not send me pictures of your poop. Unless it's really different. Hey, no, don't. But maybe if you did it at like a bowling alley and it was like really long. Okay, no, don't. Or if it was like a perfect squirrel, then I'm like, oh, then you can draw like the cone. Okay, anyways. Do not. Hi.
Hi, I don't know how you went on a tangent from love versus just poop.
Oh yeah, that was love versus that. Please stop me if I do that. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Since you said that you were doing that writing and you said you were doing a script, would you actually think of submitting a script of your own to Supernatural and say, hey, I'm still here, I'm a ghost, I'm gonna pierce the veil, like you said?
That is a very good point. See, the problem I have with writing, especially as an actor, I mean, it's really easy to be very, I don't know, selfish and like, oh, this is my character, I want to write all these things. But when I'm writing, I'm really trying not to write with myself in mind, because I feel like because your bias is so towards yourself, you end up forgetting other characters, and then it's not a complete story. And so same with Kevin. Like, I would love to, but I find it might be too hard for me to kind of let go of that and just write for the sake of the story. And so for that reason, I probably won't. Like even now, the script I'm writing right now, I started over 15 times already, and every time like it's too much on this, too much on that, not enough of this. And at the very beginning, I'm like, okay, I gotta write a story with me in mind because that's what I want to do. But now I'm like, no, let's not do that. I'm like, this character could be me, but it could easily not be me. And so I think it's given me a different perspective on how I see the story, and I kind of look at all the pieces, and which is important is not always what's good for the character as an actor if you want to play it. Does that make sense? Yeah, so no, I probably wouldn't write a Supernatural script because I'd be so biased, and Kevin would have all this. I mean, Kevin would be Crowley essentially. So that would. Though there's this like nice post that's just like a regular Supernatural episode, except I play every single character and no one ever says anything about it. Something like that. That would be really fun. The guys could use a break. And nothing is ever spoken about it. No one even like, I don't know. Wouldn't that be weird? If this were to happen on any show, it would be Supernatural. So I'll say, just a random episode where one person plays all the characters with no explanations. Yeah, this would be the show to happen. Thank you.
What is your favorite cosplay that you've ever done?
So many. I mean, I have a lot of cosplay memories. Like, it really comes down to the moments. Ariel, the Little Mermaid, was probably the biggest one that it superseded the fandom. I had friends that I hadn't talked to for years, like my family, my friends that don't know anything about Supernatural, actually have it like pop up on their feed, or they saw it somehow, and just led to really weird conversations. Last year I did. Has anyone ever played the game Journey? Okay, it's an indie game on PlayStation. I mean, you can get it from a lot of places, but it's a beautiful game. And I did this at San Diego Comic-Con last year, and I crashed the panel. I asked a question, and it was just like this. It was like the perfect moment, and it was the creepiest costume. So I spent a couple of days before meeting as many Supernatural fans as I can in the costume, and it's a little bit scary, to be honest, and I didn't see anything. And just getting a bunch of photos and stuff, and then in the morning I was in line and I was trying to get, hand people coffee with Misha and the Random Acts team, and like half the people took it because I was, again, kind of scary. And then at the panel, I was on stage and I couldn't see anything because there's mesh over my eyes, and then I unveiled it, and it was like that. It was just a perfect moment. And so for that reason, that was one of my favorites. Carl Fredrickson from Up. Loved being a little man because it was just fun to like walk with props. I mean, anytime you cosplay, it is like acting. you get to be a different character, and there's just something fun about it. And so having like a cane and walking really slow throughout the entire weekend was just nice and relaxing. Yeah, I know. Who hasn't tried cosplaying before? Okay, who has cosplayed before? So you understand the thrill of it. I mean, it's weird. If you've never done it, I would encourage you to at least try. Don't go crazy right away. But there's a lot of different ways of appreciating it. One is just like being there in the costume. Two, sometimes you really get involved in the crafting of it and how it comes together. And I know some people really like it. For me, it's like the performance aspect, being a performer. It's like, okay, now you come in the costume, it's really well made, you can talk about those things, but how are you going to present it? And that's, and just a mixture of the three, there's something really thrilling about it. Yeah. Thank you. Hi.
Hello. I heard that you broke Jared's arm. And I know that you can give him a beating, but do you think you could give Jensen a beating?
Wait, are you saying that you think Jensen can take on Jared?
No.
That's exactly what you're saying.
No.
Ah, I'm gonna tell him that. What's your name?
Caitlin.
Caitlin. I'm gonna tell him that. You know what, Jensen? I don't think we're allowed to wrestle anymore, but Jensen would be a challenge. Like, Jared is ridiculously strong. When I wrestled him, and I didn't break his arm. We wrestled because we were bored, and somehow he dislocated his shoulder. It was an old injury, and after he did it, he kind of popped it out on his own. I mean, I felt really bad about it. But it's just this happens in school. I mean, it could have happened in the green room, it could have happened at home, Sometimes when you get a bunch of guys together and there's nothing to do, you get bored and you start to wrestle. That's just what happens. I mean, probably other things. But Jensen, I feel like Jared at the time, he did lose a lot of weight after that, which I feel awful about, but I think he's spending more time with his children now, which is good, so I'm okay with it. That's what I tell myself to sleep at night. Jared is very strong, but one of the reasons why I was so like, okay, yeah, let's wrestle, is because I know he's a good striker. I know he trains like pad work. He's got a really strong kick and punching. But for grappling, you kind of have to know what you're doing in order to really. I mean, if you know what you're doing, you have a big advantage against someone who doesn't. And if you follow like mixed martial arts or fighting and all, like there's a time and place where like the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu people they're tiny guys and they're beating all these giants, and it's because they knew what was going on. And so when I look at Jared, I don't see a 230-pound guy coming at a 150-pound guy. For me, I see, okay, it's like, yes, he's trying to like crush me right now because we're wrestling. But all I see is all the openings. I'm like, okay, he's leaving a spot open under his arm, he can probably go around his neck, and it's just like, for me, it's very methodical. And this comes from, a decade of martial arts training. So for me, it's very, almost mathematical and scientific in how I approach that. For Jensen, I feel like he probably knows how to throw his weight around better. I don't know if he's had any jiu-jitsu training, but I feel pretty comfortable going against Jensen. I mean, again, it's not a sure thing. Like, again, they're very strong guys. They're very physically fit. And so if I make one mistake, it's over, right? And so in order for me to beat someone like Jared or Jensen, I have to be perfect. Now for Jared, my younger brother is actually huge. He's almost 200 pounds, but he's a bodybuilder. He's really big, incredibly strong. He's a beast. He trains people for a living. And so I've wrestled him a couple of times, and so I knew what I was getting into with Jared. I'm like, okay, so if I make one mistake, my neck is really gonna hurt. But because I know what you're, the tendencies of someone who hasn't trained before, it's easy to get around. Yeah, as a martial artist, I would certainly go against Jensen. But let's say, if he even took like a month of classes, and then we really focused on it, then probably wouldn't be able to beat him, because at the end of the day, like, weight equals strength and power, and I don't have like years and years and years of experience on this particular style. So this is just, against a beginner, I can for sure hold my own, but against someone who's really good at it, it's, I might as well be a beginner myself. I'm just an obsessive fan that watched too many videos and practiced on his brothers a lot. That's really it. The style I train is it's a dancey style, it's very performance orientated. It is kind of like figure skating and a gymnastics floor routine and martial arts mixed into one. So it's really not fighting, it's just conditioning. Does that answer your question? But I don't think we're allowed to wrestle anymore, so yeah, we won't challenge each other. Caitlin, I'm gonna tell him that. Right. Hi.
Hi, I'm Sam.
Hi, Sam.
Hi. So you used to do gaming live streams a while ago, and I wanted to know if you were going to continue doing those.
I think I'm gonna do one for E4K again. Who's on E4K? Okay, if you don't know what E4K is, who knows what Random Acts is? Okay, so Random Acts is the charity that Misha started, and they help randomly do acts of random goodness, probably. I guess that's a fair way to present them. And so they have events, and so Gishwiz, which is the largest event. Right, so a lot of you do that, is one of the events. And this is the closest thing to a fandom event as I can think of. I mean, yes, supernatural event, but this is a worldwide thing where anyone and everyone can participate, including a lot of people not in the supernatural community. Now, E4K is an endurance for kindness. Endurance, E4, the 4 with the F, and K, kindness. So it's endurance for kindness. And the first time I did it, I played League of Legends for 26 hours, and it was a stream. And the reason why I'll do it again is because throughout the years, I have met so many people that have said, hey, by the way, thanks for that stream. I met a lot of my closest friends on that thing in the chat room. And I loved it, and it's happened like at least a dozen times now. And for that reason alone, I think I would do it. It's just, these events are great. It's just like a way to facilitate people coming together, just have fun, interact, and just keep that community going. So this last year, I've really been trying not to play as many games. I've been talking about this cat game a lot. And that's the only game I play because in order to progress in the game, you have to shut it off. And so, yes, Neko Sune. And so that's the only game I'll allow myself to play, because the game prior to that, it was like a tapping game, it was one of those stupid phone games, and my fingers were hurting, and I think I was developing carpal tunnel in both my hands, because I'd be waking up in the middle of the night, like just tapping for 10 minutes before going back to sleep again. And that's a bad thing. So I had to stop that. So yes, I will do it at some point, but I think I have to pick a good game that I won't get addicted to. I think that's the key. Do you have any suggestions?
Like the Stream is very good right now. They just came out with a new episode yesterday. It's kind of a story game, but it comes out in episodes.
Will it last for 24 hours?
Depending on which episodes you play, yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's also worrying. Okay, I'll consider it, but thank you. Hello.
I was just wondering, since you've been to quite a number of conventions now, what is your favorite audience noise or reaction?
Or maybe, oh. I don't know. Did that ever happen? Yeah, I don't know if you've ever like, oh, that's my favorite noise. I love when people make that. I wonder if Rich has a favorite noise. He probably does. I don't know. How about you pick a noise right now and make it my favorite? Let's hear it. Okay, alright. That sounds like a crowd. I know, it's a good noise. You want to suggest something?
I don't know. I just think it's kind of fun how many different noises the audience.
Okay, what has your favorite noise been today that you've heard? You gotta do it first.
Some of the fortune cookie noises were pretty good.
What were the fortune cookie noises?
I'm not 1,000 people. I can't make a noise.
Okay, do your best. Do the beginning, and everyone will jump in. Which fortune was it?
Well, no, it's just because like Rich did one and he got like one noise like, oh yeah, that was dirty, like, and then like you read yours and it was like, oh, it's so sweet, and so it was a different one. So I don't know.
So you just like all the different noises. I think for anything, almost any reaction, I mean, you're always looking. It's all about the contrast, right?
Yeah.
Things are different, and we didn't spike those cookies. That's just how they came out. Yeah, I think with anything, you know, as performers, we're always looking for reaction. As writers, you're looking for reaction. If I was a comedian, I'm writing jokes, I'm looking for laughter. So I think, you know, you're always looking for the biggest and best reactions to the purpose that you're going for. Let's say I tell a joke and everyone's like, that would be the worst reaction because, yeah, that's totally not what I'm going for. I mean, sometimes you come across lucky accidents, but, I mean, usually the accidents are awful accidents, so. But I think, for the most part, as long as the audience is engaged, those are the best.
Okay.
But if there had to be a noise to go with it, what would that be?
Woo!
Okay, can we get a woo? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Thank you. Yeah, that was good. Okay, that will be my favorite noise. The boo.
So I am a massive Hollywood fan,
Ah.
and I was wondering.
She's at Harry Potter Studios right now. Okay. Anyways.
Okay. I was wondering how you got involved with them, and if you have any plans to do any new parodies with them.
I met them in Spain for this, it was a convention called ChiCon, and I love these multi-fandom conventions. And so there were a couple of Harry Potter people there were a couple of Game of Thrones people there were a couple of Merlin people there, and Once Upon a Time people there. And, you know, like, every group, I was the only one from Supernatural, and, you know, every group kind of like, we got along, or, you know, we hung out with a lot of people, but everyone kind of like, they find their cliques and stuff, and, you know, your old friends, and for me, I like, no one was talking to the Hollywood girls, and we came in the same car, and so I'm like, hey, what show are you on, or what kind of stuff do you do? And, you know, they're very, like, shy and bashful, but like, oh, yeah, we do these, like, little web videos that, you know, just for fun. And I looked at one, and I saw the Doctor Who one, I'm like, wow, like, you got a gym and everything, and I just looked at the production value, I was so impressed. I'm like, when are you gonna do a Supernatural one? First thing I said to them, it's like, oh yeah, like we kind of watched the show, but you know, it's just finding the right idea. And so I just kept, you know, we kept in touch. We ended up doing a Walking Dead one, and that was a lot of fun. And then eventually they came around, she's like, hey, we got a great idea for Supernatural. It's like, would any of the other guys be willing to do it? And you know what? I actually said, I'm like, I know Rob would do it. I said that.
I didn't know that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, but you're the first person. I'm like, well, I'm like, I know Rob will do it. I'm like, Rich, like, I feel like Rich would do it. If Rich do it, then he'd talk enough that everyone else would do it.
Rich would need a lot of money, though.
Yeah.
He'd ask for a lot.
He did. But it's one of the wonderful things about this show is that what other show would you get the entire cast to do a cameo on their own parody? Everyone jumped in, and you know, it's just, yeah, it became the thing that it is, and it's just wonderful. So, Yeah, I still stay in touch with Tilly and Hannah, and we just missed each other in London. They're in Harry Potter Studios like a couple hours ago. And
Are they working on the next one?
I think so, probably.
The next parody?
I'll have to check in on them for that, but I think so. But yeah, they do great work, and they started off doing it like as kids with a camcorder just for fun, because that's what they did, and they just got better and better at it.
Yeah, that was fun. It was fun to be a part of. So, how's it going?
I don't know. I thought they were behind me, but they didn't.
Now, I think they're probably. Hey!
That's okay.
We're rapping. We're good.
No, I like that.
Speaking of rap, you gonna sing with us tomorrow night?
Yeah, that's right. Who's going to the concert tomorrow?
You bring up a very good point. We haven't really talked about this. As much as we have fawned over the band, we haven't even gotten into the fact that Loud and Swain, although here for your plain pleasure during the day, really puts on their rock god threads and hosts a real show Saturday night. The Saturday Night Special.
Can I just say that it's a very special night. It's gotten better and better. This Saturday in particular is going to be an off-the-hook, epic night of special guests.
So true. You know, the thing is, it's so great. You segue perfectly into. We always have cool people at conventions. We mostly have cool people at conventions. Occasionally we have cool people at conventions. But this weekend, personally for me, high water mark, because Chicago, you're the first city in North America to get access to the brains behind the show, Mr. Bob Singer. And that is freaking awesome. First of all, he's been with the show since it was a concept. He's an amazing director, an amazing producer, an amazing writer. His wife is a writer on the show. And he's just one of the most entertaining, just one of the funniest guys I've ever met. He literally we sit in the green room with the guy and he just cracks you up. He's fantastic. So do yourself a favor, carve out whatever time you need, skip the photo with the tall guys, be in here for the panel with Bob Singer when he does his thing, because he's an amazing man, an amazing guest, and nobody else gets it but Chicago. So take advantage of that, Chicago. Love you some Bob Singer. And I believe Bob Singer will be jamming with the band on Saturday night.
It's gonna be off the hook.
That's awesome.
Great. Yeah,
that's great.
It's gonna be crazy.
Super exciting. Super exciting, Chicago. Big show for you people. Osric's gonna be there tonight. He's gonna be there tomorrow night. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Osric Chau. Thank you. You know, Robbie? Yeah. Let's play a game.
What kind of game?
Oh, a game with two simple answers. It's either yes or no. It's a yes or no game, Robbie. So let me give you an example. Okay. I say yes.
We say no.
No, I'm pretty sure I said yes.
We say no.
Why do you always contradict me? You guys have a bad attitude.
No.
What if I said I would buy the beer?
Yes.
I said it's your turn to buy the beer.
No.
Let's bring out the host of the yes no game, the man, the myth, the legend, Gary Berman. Everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Gary wasn't doing the song though.
The introduction's not long, you know.